Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I am your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Great Talking Entertainment. And as I continue on for the new Disney Plus series, Echo, this is episode 2, spoiler review. So if you have not seen this, pause this, give me a thumbs up, because that would help my channel grow. Go watch it, come back, listen to this spoiler review and any other spoiler reviews I have done. Leave a comment below. Tell me, guys, what you think. Tell me, guys' Marvel theories and how you feel about each Marvel series or movie. So, again, this is episode 2 review for Echo, and it is a spoiler review. So, y'all been warned. Let's get into it. This show starts off with a flashback of a tribe back in the AD era in Alabama. And they're playing this game with Chakal. To win this game, their land is up for grabs, so they have to win this game. And we see this female who represents, and she's like struggling a little bit. I think she's getting frustrated that the other team is beating them, and her teammates are getting on her about it. And I can't remember. I should have went back, but I think she was the only female on her team, and I think the other team didn't. I think they did have a female on her team, or they didn't. But the way they set it up, they made it feel like she was the only woman, and they're treating her like crap, both sides. Obviously it's up, their land's up for grabs. But luckily they won, right? And it kind of shows this. Oh, I don't know how to explain it. It shows Maya has the same characteristic traits from her ancestors that show in the modern time of that year in Echo. And what I thought about it is that, and I always go back to What If episode I believe 5 for season 2 with the character Kahora. And I just think there's a huge connection between that tribe and this tribe, and maybe they were once friends or foes to friends. But whatever it is, I feel like Kahora could be like the great 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 grandmother, add more great greats to it, and she's probably like the grandmother of Maya, which I have to believe that, because that would make sense to me. But what I liked about that is, if that is true, let's just play it safe, then that is really unique to show that Maya is the Steve Rogers Captain America version of Native Americans. And not exactly, no, she's not wearing a shield, but she has this unnatural power that gives her strength and speed, and it makes sense because she doesn't know how to tap into it, but with just learning how to fight and surviving in the streets in New York, and obviously working with the Kingpin, she's taken the skill sets that she's learned from that and trying to incorporate it with what she's doing now. And I also believe that she represents that she's gonna represent a new godlike mode too, where I feel like this is also connected to the Eternals, the film. And I also believe that, I think one of her great relatives has celestial blood within them, or I I believe that there is like, because they never really get into the celestials very much, but I do believe there is a comic book character who is a celestial, and he doesn't look like what the big ones look like, but he has the same ability, and he's actually one of them. But he can grow a size down and look human, and I think it may be like a Disney version of Pocahontas in that sense of it. But I think that this woman fell in love with a celestial, right? And I think that they had kids and had a family, and that started Maya's like family, like bloodline. And that would make sense too, because the way they're showing these flashbacks, that here the MCU's actually of this or of their Earth, of the main MCU's Earth, is was being shaped this whole time. Like it, this is and all has to do with the Infinity Stones. I think just from based off of the season 2 of What If, the state of Oklahoma, where this tribe kind of resonates a lot, has always lived at. Like maybe the Tesseract was once there before, like Captain America and Hydra and Shield and Nick Fury got their hands on it. I think this is kind of like an idea that could have been a version of that story, but in this reality. So that's what I think. I think these Infinity Stones are gonna come back in a different way, but I think that now people are gonna use it the opposite way of Thanos would use it, basically. And I think we're getting that story with Echo, just based off of episode 2. And that's what kind of gets me a little excited, because that's what I got out of it, and just in that particular part. And as we continue on from this episode, they take us to where we left off, where Maya has her cousin Biscuit do some shopping for her, and she just needed some camera tech, some tracking tech, some gadgets to build some of these. And this leads up to in this episode where Maya jumps on a moving train at night, and her cousin Biscuit's driving grandma's truck, and it was so funny. And I like seeing these type of duos. It's really funny to watch, because here's Maya being like a vigilante, like a Batman, Daredevil type thing, just kicking butt. And I really like just my favorite was he's trying to drive, and he's like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't I gotta protect this truck, and he doesn't. The truck gets totally damaged, but Maya's like facing some Kingpin's goons, and it's not easy. Like they're like task force military good. Like ooh, it was a battle, but she eventually planted the bomb and put the tracking device on the train and left, right? As soon as it got to New York, where it needed to be, it just boom, you know. And now it gets in some trouble. Now the world's rattling. Like this is where it's gonna get ugly. But she did this because she wants to take over Kingpin's empire. Like she wants to be the queen Kingpin, basically. And so she's trying to also just get all his weapons, his money, his documents, where she can blackmail people, uh, anything to get full control of territory, grounds, and whatever business he's dealing in, which he deals in a lot. And as she gets ready to jump off the train, she gets stuck because her prosthetic leg got stuck in between the thing that connects the trains, different carts together, and I forgot what his name was, so I apologize. But I she got her leg stuck, and she has a flashback of one of her ancestors, and it triggers uh, her inner power, superpowers basically, and giving her the strength to, you know, get her leg out. So she disconnected the trains. Just boom. And it's kind of like Captain America. That's what I was trying to kind of say. It's like Captain America type, but more natural. You know, they made the superpower, soldier syndrome. This is like just straight up natural power that I believe is from the Tesseract. Maya goes to Scully from the pawn shop to get her prosthetic leg fixed, and he agrees to work on it and get her a new one that's more efficient and could be more like a weapon, like this is Marvel, this is superhero, like this is the part where she's gonna not have a normal prosthetic leg. This is where we see him cooking something up. Like this could be a little bit stronger. This one could have like some knives or escape explosion. You don't know. Like it could be made out of a certain type of metal, maybe vibranium. Who knows? But it, I can see Scully's gonna be, the uncle, but he's also the guy who's the Iron Man, the Tony Stark, the smart guy, the Ned. But he's the guy who can make up a weapon or a contraption, and that can help Maya, do her mission, right? And so I'm sure it's gonna look really cool. I'm sure it's gonna be stylish. And Maya sees a statue of a Chafa, and Scully explains that she's related to them, and there are protectors, like guardian angels, basically, or warriors. Later in this episode, Henry finds out what Maya did, and he tells her to lay low, so he can clean this up. And we find out that Biscuit spilled the beans, and Bonnie finds out through radio that Maya is in town because Biscuit's trying to fix Grandma's truck. And that's how that ended. So, what I thought about this episode is I really like this. I feel like so far, based off of just 2 episodes, right? They gave us an action pack, and then they gave us more of a drama. There was action in this. Jumping off to the train, doing what she did was pretty, and she had to fight some guys, right? Some goons. But I also just like the fact that this episode, they're giving us, the audience, the viewers, a little bit more a knowledge to understand, like, okay, this is what she does, this is how she feels, this is how she thinks, these are who the people she's related to. They're giving us her origin, giving us a little bit of brief of her past and who she's related to from ancestors, and like they're explaining like Kingpin it runs a lot of places in different states, and I really like it because like I think it's just cool that we never got to see this Kingpin, even in the Netflix. We didn't really get to see Kingpin do Kingpin stuff. I mean, besides the bloody, brutal beatings that he's done, right? But Maya is like the first character we see go on the run, and Kingpin has to go send people out, all his spies and snitches, giving him the lowdown, like, hey, we found her, or I heard she's located in here, just stuff like that. And I think that's what's really cool because this kind of demonstrates like how he is as a badass villain, right? And he's one of my favorite villains too in Marvel, street level wise. So I think really this just really showcases like you can't hide from the Kingpin, and he will find you. Like it just what he does. Like he's unstoppable. When he wants something, he's gonna get something, and he plays what do you call it, chess. He doesn't play checkers, and I like Kingpin as violent, but I like when he's violently smart. Or like when you think you outsmarting him, he's one step ahead of you, or 20 steps ahead of you, and then he like beats the shit out of you. But that's why I like it about Kingpin, and I really like how this episode just shows case like he doesn't have to be there in every episode, but the idea like she can't even do a lot because he'll find out no matter what. So here's another topic, but let's talk about Henry. So Henry is another family member besides Maya's dad and her that has worked with the Kingpin. He's somebody who does business, and my mo to this is like I think really it's not a choice that Henry chose. I think he's doing this for a reason, maybe to get revenge for Maya's dad. You know, that's his brother, or maybe there's just something else more to this that the reason why he's doing that. It could be for a villain way, but I think this whole time I think that maybe he wants to take over Kingpin's territory and do things for their people, right? And that could be a possibility. That there's only like three ways they can really go with Henry the way they got him set up as this character. So let's talk about Maya's family tree. So I think what I think is, again, I think this tribe, I think obviously this is a really cool way to show like, hey, in phase one, before phase one I should say, this event happened. There wasn't no Avengers, there was no New York buildings, there was just land, nature, and other things, right? But I just think like the Infinity Stones were doing something, and I really think this has, I think, Echo's past is based off that Tesseract. I think that this is very connected to the Internals and the Celestials. Like, I really truly think there's a lot more going on with that than they're putting out, and I think we'll discover more in this series and in other Marvel films, obviously. Like, I really think that they may put this character Maya in the Thunderbolts, because I think that General Ross and his group of team are spying, and they know stuff because they're obviously the government, the FBI, the police, you name it, secret agents, right? Military style. So they know stuff, and they probably have files on all these people, right? And I think Maya is going to be recruited to the Thunderbolts, because I think that's where I think they're going to place her at. I thought about they'd put her in the Defenders, but I think they'll put her in the Thunderbolts group because, again, this is Marvel. There's a bigger picture that's bigger than the Kingpin, but Kingpin is a big threat where I think General Ross, the Red Hulk, right? I think he would keep tabs on him and what Maya's doing. So that's just what I think it's probably going to lead up to. And the reason why I ended that in the family tree topic is because of the Tesseract, because I think there's history of it, they know the history of Captain America, and they know that, okay, this family tree bloodline is probably still going, and they have to keep tabs because if there's somebody like Maya who has that ability that they know about in history, that the government has got all the information and spying, keeping tabs, like I said, right? There's probably somebody who's in Kingpin's little group, right, and is giving information to General Ross, the government, right? So there can be a lot. I think there's more to this, and I think that I bet you that either Bucky is going to show up, Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, is going to show up, and he's going to be the one that's going to recruit Maya, because I think there's a bigger picture to this. Now let's talk about Bonnie. I think Bonnie's going to be a big part of the MCU. I think that she's going to be like like the sidekick of Maya. Do they show potential of having her own powers, abilities like her? And I think she could be part of the MCU as the Avengers, the Young Avengers. I mean, there's so much more. I think Bonnie's just not a character for Maya. I think they're gonna extend her and use this character more in other Marvel films and shows. So I think Bonnie's gonna be a really big deal as well, just like Maya is. So that's all I can really say about her. I think they have a past, obviously, and there's a lot going on. So we can see maybe she'll hold the shield up. Who knows? But I think something tells me when I first saw her, I'm like, okay, they have an idea with this character, and I think they have potential, and I think there's more to her of who she is. So that's all I got for her. But that is my review. If I had to give this a 1 out of 10, I'm giving this a straight 10. It was a great episode. I think it was well balanced, a lot of action, a lot of drama, and they made it very easy for everybody to understand, and gives you an idea where this show's going as a series and what to kind of expect. But really great. I am enjoying this, and I think anybody who hasn't watched this, I think they'll be a fan of this. If they don't watch Marvels, I think they'll still be a fan of this series. So that's my review. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you and peace